back, man. We back. Draft, SmackDown, last night. Let's get into it. Honestly, the draft kind of sucked, y'all. It sucked, man. It kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of sucked. I just was waiting for it to be over, honestly. They kind of brought out the whole old school guys to kind of tell us who's coming in the draft and stuff like that, who's getting drafted where. And honestly, it was stupid. It was the same old stuff that we've been getting for the last couple of years. They didn't do anything really different other than, honestly, they didn't really do anything different. But let's get into the draft picks. The show was, it kind of sucked, but because really nothing happened other than the draft on this show and what was going on with the bloodline. So I knew if Jimmy and Jay didn't win, them boys were getting shipped off to Raw, and that's what's happening. I knew it. I did a mock draft, but for some reason my video got messed up, so I wasn't able to upload my mock draft. But I said in my mock draft that I knew them boys was gonna get shipped over to Raw if they didn't win those tag team championships. But let's get into the draft. First pick, obviously, we know who the first pick was. The Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the one, Roman, and my boy Solo got in there too. Him and Roman are staying on SmackDown, obviously. They're gonna continue whatever they're doing at the moment. Roman's probably not gonna come back until around SummerSlam time. So, we're just sitting around waiting, see what happens. So next we got number 2 was Cody Rhodes. Now I don't understand why. I'm kind of confused on why Cody is going back to Raw. Only because, are we done with the whole Roman and Cody thing? I don't feel like it's over. So I wonder how they're going to explain that, how they're going to get Cody over to Raw, or get Roman and Cody to be facing each other, because their championships are brand exclusive now. So how we're going to do this Cody and Roman stuff? This is why I got confused on that. I got confused on that big time. But we'll see where they go from here. I don't think it's a good idea that Cody's on Raw, or he's presented to be going to Raw, because I wonder how they're gonna like kind of make those two guys, because there's no one else to beat Roman. Cody's the only one that can beat Roman, and at the moment, yeah, there's no one else that is big enough that could beat Roman at the moment. And I don't think Cody's gonna win that world title either. So that part doesn't make sense why Cody went number 2. Well, I get why Cody went number 2, because, you know, ego stuff. But he could have went number 1 or 2 over on Raw, and it'd be a surprise or whatever. But moving on. I'd put Seth at 2 here, but, you know, moving on. 3 was Bianca. She's going to SmackDown, even though she's champion. This didn't make any sense either. Like, are we switching the titles again? So we keeping Judgment Day on Raw, I guess, so they don't have the whole bloodline situation. But they're done. The whole bloodline, that's done. And are they going to switch the titles again, or are they going to have like some type of match at Night of Champions? I think Bianca and Rhea might have some sort of match at Night of Champions. That's why they did this, in a sense. But I'd have kept Rhea on SmackDown. Let Bianca stay on Raw, and do some stuff over there. But I think they brought her over to SmackDown is because Charlotte is exclusive to SmackDown, and they want that matchup to go on later on down in SummerSlam. So that makes sense. If Charlotte stays on SmackDown, and if they do which I think she will, because I had Charlotte going to Raw but she is exclusive to SmackDown, so you know, whatever. And fourth is Becky. Becky on Raw. That makes sense. I had Becky on Raw as well. Yeah. Next is Street Profits going to SmackDown. Obviously, they should have broke up the Street Profits. We gotta get. There was nothing in here that was like really shocking or anything, other than Usos obviously getting banished from the island of relevancy. Can't say that. I couldn't say that at all. Island of relevancy. Them just getting banished and kicked to Raw. Obviously, that was the only shocking thing that happened on this show. We didn't split up no groups. We didn't do anything like. It was boring. So the Street Profits are going to SmackDown. Imperium's going to Raw. They were the next pick. Imperium's going to Raw. I knew they were going to go to Raw. I'm guessing Bobby's going to win the championship. I'm guessing Bobby's going to win that United States title, which I like. Bobby, 4-time United States champion. Okay, let's get it. And then Edge was the next pick on SmackDown, which one I would never did. I think they're trying to make it more interesting in the sense, but I would have never had like any part-time guys get drafted, shifted over to any. No, that doesn't make sense. I think they should free roam. I think any legends or anything like that, other than like Rey Mysterio, maybe, because he didn't retire. But Rey Mysterio is the only one that should be exclusive because he's full-time. Edge is not full-time. Edge, I think it should be like a Brock situation, which Brock is probably might get drafted over to Raw, most likely, if they're doing that for Brock. But I think Brock should be a guy who bounces around just as much as Edge. Edge should be a guy who bounces around. I don't think Edge should be brand exclusive at all. But moving on, next was Riddle for Raw, and then we had Bobby for SmackDown, and then we had Drew for Raw. Which I got Drew actually winning the world title. Why I have Drew winning the world title is because I think, well, no, I don't actually have him winning the world title. I think I want him to win the world title because honestly, I think it'll help him more than it'll help Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins doesn't need it, to be honest with you. I think out of those two guys, who needs to be repaired the most is Drew freaking McIntyre, man. Turn that man heel. Turn him heel and make him the champion. Make him the champion. Make him like a monster champion. And then after Drew, but those two guys are, I know for a fact, are going to be most likely the finalists for that title. Unless they pull a bullshit and have Cody do it, but I'm praying they don't. But moving on, we got OC going to SmackDown. AJ returned on SmackDown, actually, the house that he built. So we got the OC going to SmackDown, and then the Miz going to Raw. I'd put the Miz on SmackDown, but Raw, whatever, because he's been on Raw for a pretty long time since the pandemic. He's been on Raw since the pandemic, so that's 3 years. And then after the Miz, we got Damage Control. I don't care. We should have split them up. They should have been split up in this draft. But let's move on. Damage Control sucks so bad. They suck. They suck so bad, man. All right, moving on. We got Shinsuke. After Damage Control, we got Shinsuke Nakamura going to Raw. Great pickup for Raw. And then after Shinsuke, we got Alba Fire. And then after Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the women's tag team champions. I'm guessing they're gonna lose the titles. Coming up on NXT. But they got drafted to SmackDown, and then drafted to Raw. The last pick was Indy Hartwell going to Raw. Cool. The draft was kind of trash, but. No buts, and And I just feel like they didn't really try, man. They didn't try. They didn't really try. I guess they tried, but it could have been better. You had the there was so much there they could have done. They just kind of just was like, okay, let's shift these things into place. It was basically Raw. What was they called it? Wall of Legends Night, Raw Legends Night with, AKA the draft. That's what it was basically, man. And whatever, I guess. Kind of sucked. But you know, it is what it is. We're gonna catch it back on Monday, man. See what's gonna happen. But man, they gotta do better, man. They gotta do better. They gotta do better, man. But Usos are going to SmackDown. Sorry, Usos, but it makes sense. But we'll be back. I appreciate y'all for watching. Watch my last video on the world title shot, title match, new title. It was a title for title. All right, appreciate y'all for watching, man. We out.